Good evening, everyone. Let me know if we are live. Hi, Tiger. Hi, Tribeca. Hi, Black Gray. Welcome to the 12th stream of the Christmas Advent streams. So after this one, we only have 3 to go. And then we're done. It's going so fast. Hi, Yoni. Welcome back again. Hi, Tammy. Glad you could join the stream today as well. Hi, Laura. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Danger Kitty. Hi, Julio. I hope I'll say that right. Alright, so today we're going to be working on the fox. I did the background yesterday, so if you haven't watched that, you can always watch back the streams if you missed it. But today I'm going to try to come as far as possible with the face of the fox. So I hope I'll get that done today, at least all the basic layers. And hopefully I can finish the fox tomorrow. Hi Lucy, bonjour. Oh, haven't you, Rebecca? It's getting kind of late right now. Well, you have 6 days left. I still need to buy some of my Christmas presents as well. Alright, so my approach for this piece is I'm going to do the eyes first. Then I'm going to do all the base layers for the whole head. So the face and the ears and the nose as well. And then after that, I'm going to go into the details. I hope you can see the reference, right? I couldn't make it that big on the screen, but you can see it a bit. Oh, it's really awesome that you're making the presents yourself, Tiger. The stream is not working. Does anyone else have that problem as well? The stream is working, right? It says the connection is good right here, so I don't think anything's wrong on my end. Hi, Melanie. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the eyes. They are pretty small and very dark. So I'm going to start out with black and I'll be outlining the outlines of the eyes and then I'll be doing the insides. And I'm working with Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils on pastel matte. The color is sand, but I'm not sure. It's a yellow beige color, which is quite close to the color of the fox, so that's why I chose it. But you can also work on gray or brown, what you prefer, it doesn't really matter. I chose this reference photo because the fox has such a pretty look in his eyes. A very nice expression. I couldn't really find a lot of royalty-free reference photos of foxes, so in the end I decided to do this one. The reference originally is of the whole body, but I just decided to do the face because I felt like the expression in his eyes was so beautiful. So with a very sharp pencil, I am outlining the eyes. Yeah, it's looking a bit like marble. Yeah, I thought that too. I really like how it looks right now. So I really hope it will look even more like a blurry background when the fox is done. I have to be quite careful here because I don't want to put a wrong line anywhere. Oh, good, Star. I'm glad it's working now for you. Also, as always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. How do you know where to put the eyes? I've sketched them out beforehand. You actually can't see it because it's so light, but there's a little very light graphite sketch here on the paper. But you can't really see it because the camera quality of my webcam is not that good, but I can just see it, and for me it's enough guideline to be able to get the proportions right. Alright, let's outline the other eye right away as well. I'm using this plastic sheet underneath my hand to not get any sweat on the paper or any smudges. And you can also decide to go in with the gray first for outlining the eyes. But I have developed quite a steady hand by now, so I'm confident with going in with black right away. But you can just decide to go in with a lighter color first if you're not very confident with using pastels yet. Hi Will! Today I tried the events thing in the Unmask art group for the first time. I hope I did it right. And I hope any of the Unmask family people are here as well. So if you are, let me know. Hi Hilde. Oh, bye Melanie, no problem. So I need to be very, very concentrated for this part, but after that I'll read the comments a bit more. Yeah, I totally forgot to change the background. I will do that in the next one, so that people can actually see what I'm working on in the stream. I think I'm going to switch from my plastic to another piece of paper because I can see that in this part here the light is reflecting, which could be distracting for you guys. So I'm going to get something else. Probably another piece of paper. Oh, hi, Rob. Alright, so the outlines are done for the eyes. So now I'm going to go in with some color. And the eyes are very dark overall, but you can see some very bright highlights in there. So I'm going to put those in first, otherwise I might forget them. Starting off with white, going to make sure it's sharpened. Again, I'm using the Faber-Castell Color Grip Universal Pencil Sharpener, which I really like. Oh, hi Blossom. So great that you started the Snowy Owl. I'd love to see it when it's done. I'm going to put in the highlights. Right now. I hope you can see that. I can also see some bluish highlights, so I'm putting those in with blue. This is color 435. I love foxes so much. I should draw them more often. This is actually my first fox. Alright, so now for a base color. Oh, let's do the pupil first. The pupil is very dark on the reference photo, so I'm just going to go in with black right away. There's not a lot of room for layering in an area so small, so I'm just going to go right in with black and darken up the pupil. So of course foxes are canines, so they don't have, or do they? They have round pupils. Not like cats. Cats have, how do you call that shape? A very sharp oval pupil. Let me know how your day has been. I'm so excited for Christmas. This year has flown. My English is still not completely fluent. Has flown by. This year went so fast. Oh, hi, Wicked. Since you don't use fixative, is the paper very textured to get the chalk so sticky to stick? Yes. This paper, Pastel Matte, it's not sticky, but the texture is very particular and the pastels stick to it very, very well. So I don't like to use fixative at all. Not on other papers either. But on this, I don't even feel like it's necessary, because the pastels just stick so well. Oh, bye, Yoni, no problem. See you next time. Hi, Wicked. Did I already say that? My cold. I did have a cold. But I had been feeling like getting a cold for 3 weeks, so I have been having a cold on and off for like the whole month and a part of November, but I feel like I don't have a cold right now. I do feel like I have some sort of a sore voice. My voice is not 100%. But other than that, I feel fine. Right now I'm just mapping out the shapes that I see in the eyes, although it's very small. Focusing on the darkest shapes right now. Let's go in with some brown now. I'm going to take number 635, which is a very dark brown. With that, I'm going to color in the rest of the iris. But I'm drawing around the highlights that I just drew in. Awesome streamer points, so thank you. Let's go in with some gray. This is number 720. These details are incredibly small. Thank you so much, Christy. Oh, good luck with your first pastel piece. That's very cool. What are you going to be drawing? Back to the brown now. and hyping up the brightness of some of the highlights with white again. Thank you, Phoebe. Hi Brit, welcome to the stream. Alright, let's do the eyelids now. For that I'm using a dark cold grey by Faber-Castell, number 181. And then to highlight the eyelids a little bit, I think I'll be using number 724. Some little highlights on there. Adding it on top of the dark gray. To just lighten up the center part of the eyelid. Then maybe for some extra bright highlights, going back to the light gray. This is so small. And then with black, cleaning up the edges a little bit more. So I'm trying to make these streams like a mixture between a art chat stream and a tutorial stream. So I'm trying to combine the two by explaining what I do, but also trying to look at the comments as much as possible. I think to start with, I'll do a couple of sunsets, sunrises with the silhouette. Yeah, those are really fun to do, especially when you're starting out. Those were the pieces I started with when I tried pastels. There's also one of those pieces in my course, my pastel course for beginners. Link in the description. Thank you, Rebecca. that's really good to hear. That's the most important, I think, when drawing animals, to make them look alive. That's always what I want to achieve in a piece. Although the eyes are super small, so I don't have much room to do a lot of detailing, but I'm trying. Alright, I'm going to leave the eyes for now. Now it's time to do some basic layers on the face. Foxes can be tricky because they have a very particular fur texture. Usually they have a dark red undertone in the fur, and then on top of that you can see the lighter hairs. So that's what we're trying to recreate as well today. Luckily with pastels you can draw with light on top of dark. In colored pencil that will be a little more difficult. So for the undertones in the fur, I'll be using a combination of number 645, which is a dark brown red, and then 670, which is also a reddish brown but more towards the orange side, I would say. And then I'll probably also use a brown number 635 to darken up some of the layers. Do I have any oil pastel tutorials? Yes, I do have some videos with oil pastels, but they're not really tutorials because I just tried them in the videos for the first time, so the pieces look like horrible. They look horrible, so they are not tutorials, but I have some oil pastel pieces here on my YouTube channel, but I don't like them, so I'm not going to be using them again. So for the first layer, make sure to draw in the right direction. So the fur here is coming from the eye and then curling around the eye. Then moving upwards and outwards towards the ear. I think it might be better if I do the left side first to prevent any smudging. Oh, I'm starting off, by the way, with number 645. Yeah, that's my first reaction as well, Tammy. So the fur here above and between the eyes is the darkest, and then it becomes a little bit lighter towards the edges, so for that I'm going to use another base color. I am going to take this red, dark red, upwards. And outwards. Hi Artista! How are you today? And when it comes to the fur under the eye, it goes downwards and outwards. So it curves around the eye as well, just like on the upper side. I'm not pushing super hard for the first layers because I don't want to saturate the paper right away, so I'm using a medium pressure. Tatiana, is that a particular reason you start with base layer with pencils instead of pen pastels? Yes, I don't have enough pen pastel colors yet in order to do a good base layer with pen pastels. I have a few colors, but not enough, and I don't have the budget right now to expand my color range, so I just don't have the colors yet. And I must say, in a piece this small, I would prefer the pencils because I have more control over them compared to the pen pastels. Hi Olivia. Oh, I hope you guys will get better soon. This is really the time of year in which everyone gets ill. That's what I don't like about winter. Alright, now let's do the left side of the face first. I'm going to take the lighter color, the orangey color, number 670. Looks a little bit less red, a bit more brown. And I will be using this to draw the little hair sticking out from the sides. I have a question. If you are going to draw a dark brown horse with white hair, which color on the paper should you choose? Do you mean the base color of the paper, like this yellow color, or do you mean the first base layer of the pencils, of the pencil colors? Let me know what you mean. I would say for the paper color to go for a neutral tone, but you can also go for, basically the paper color doesn't really matter. I like to go for a very neutral tone like gray or brown. And in a light flicking motion, I'll be drawing these hairs that are sticking out from the side. Very thin hairs. Basically, I'm now focusing on recreating the shapes that I see in the fur. Not focusing on details yet, just the shapes. Alright, and then if you're drawing, what was the question? If you're going to draw a dark brown horse with white hair, I'm not sure which colors to suggest. For that, I'd have to see the reference photo because every dark brown horse is different. I would always suggest to go for a darker base layer. So choose a base color that is darker than the actual color of the horse, and then you can add the lighter hairs on top. But for specific color suggestions, I would have to see the reference photo. Can't wait to get a set of these pencils. Are they your fave? Yes, these are my favorites. I love them. Would you recommend pastel pencils or normal pencils for pet portraits? Either one of them. It is what you prefer. They both can give very beautiful results. So if you like to work fast, if you like a fast process, getting a result quite quickly, I would suggest pastel pencils. If you like to work super detailed and super slow, I would suggest colored pencils because they do take you more time. But I would say try them both and see what you like best. Yes, Tachana, this does need quite a lot of patience. But you can train that. Alright, so I'm already working on this small piece for far too long. Let's move on with the base color on this part of the head, which is a little bit lighter. So I think I want to go in with a lighter base layer for that. And let's choose this one. A really nice yellowish color, number 680. So sorry for the people who hate this sound. Can't change it. There are so many different colors in this fur. Really interesting to draw. Let's go for darker brown to darken up this area around the eyes a little more. This is color number 610. The area underneath the eye is in shadow. It's a little bit darker. I think I'm going to use this brown. This is 635, a little bit darker even than the previous one. With pastels, you always have to go through that ugly stage. This piece will probably stay ugly until the very last moment. I just need to get all those base colors in there. So that is my main focus right now, to put in all the colors that I see. Using this for an example, can you elaborate on choosing the colors to start on base layers and finish top layers? Yeah, yep, I'm starting with a dark base layer. The hair on this fox is quite dark brown in the area around the eyes. Then here, towards the ears, it's getting darker. So I still start off with a base layer. I've used a yellowish, I would say a dark cadmium orange here, which is still a little bit darker than the actual hair you see there. But then this allows me to add the lighter hairs on top layer later. So I always choose a color that is slightly darker than the actual color of the fur, so that I can then add all the details and all the lighter hairs on top. Alright, let's do this part of the cheek and then I'll move on with the base layer on the ear. Moving on again with color 645. Then you can see the fur getting a little bit lighter around here. That is looking more like a pink, a reddish pink tone. Let's see what base color I can find for that. I think I'll be going for 675. That's quite a bright orange. Not sure if that is the right color to use. Let's just do it. Then I'm using this color on top, 681. That is a bit more of a pink tone, toning down this orange a little bit more. Moving on with 680. Then I'll have to draw all these hairs sticking out again. I will clean it up later. I'm just giving an indication of where everything has to go now. Have anyone had problems with white Carbothello? My white seems a hard pencil in the set. It's hard to layer. Yes, I'm experiencing that too. It's quite a hard one. I'm not sure why that is. And I'm not sure what to do about it, actually. So I just use it and see what happens. But I don't use the white a lot, actually. I find this one, this is a very light gray, a lot softer and easier to layer on top of darker colors. This is color number 110. Going to do a little bit of blending with my finger. Not pushing hard. Just want all these colors to come together a little bit more. Now let's move on to this ear and the top of the head. Cleaning the edges a little more before I start, just using the white pencil. Hi Gail. Oh, bye Tiger. Do you train your eyes to see all these colors? Yes. This has taken me probably about 3 years of practice. I've been drawing in color now for about 2.5 to 3 years, so yeah, I have taught myself to see these colors by just doing it every single day. Alright, now for the ear. The edges of the ear are quite dark, but they are not black. They are very dark brown mixed with a little bit of gray. So I'm going to start off with brown. This is number 635 again. Make sure to do this very carefully. I don't want to smudge anything. I'm going to draw in the edges. Yes, and what's also really helped me is to build up a good skill, a good basic skill in black and white drawing first. So I had already been good at drawing in graphite and charcoal, and actually I also did some black and white pastel pieces before I started working in color. And that has made it so much easier because I had already trained myself to look and to observe by doing black and white work, and that made it a lot easier to switch to color work. One more about the language. My art stuff vocabulary is much bigger in English. That is actually, I have that too. I am so used to doing tutorials in English now that I can't do tutorials in Dutch, or it is very difficult for me. I'm actually now working on voiceovering some of my tutorials in Dutch that I originally made in English, and I just don't know what to say sometimes. I just forget the words and I forget what the colors are called in Dutch. I just don't know. Sometimes I feel like I have to get back to training my Dutch vocabulary because I'm talking in English so much. And actually, I think 90% of all my communication for my job is in English. Alright, so I have put in the brown now. I want to put in a little bit of gray. So this is 181 by Faber-Castell. Going to add that on top of the brown. Still not focusing on details yet, just putting in the basic shapes. My biggest challenge is going dark enough and getting values correct or even close to correct. Yes, going dark enough, it takes some practice. When I finally found the courage to just go really dark in my pieces. It made such a big difference. Alright, now for the inside of the ear, I see cool gray, dark cool gray. So I'm going to stick to this one. And I'm going to fill in the inside of the ear, which is very dark. Will you please draw landscape scenery? I have done some. In the first week I did the Northern Lights with pastels in the stream, so if you haven't seen that one yet, you can watch it back. And then lately I did some landscapes in pastels as well for my drawing course. Alright, so this piece of fur right here connects to this dark fur, so I'm just going to add some above. So ears can be tricky because usually the fur goes in all kinds of directions. Just try to work in steps for that. Start with the base layer and then see what you have to do from there. Alright, I want to add some more blue, I think. Let's go in with 770. A little more blue on the edges of this dark patch. Trying to follow the comments. Trying to read. Yes, the Faber-Castell pits are a little harder, a little tougher than the Stabilos. Alright, that's it for the dark part. I feel like it's a little bit too blue now, so I'm going to add some brown to it on the centerpiece, the center section, just to contrast the blue. Then I might add some black, but I'll save that for the very last. Oh, bye, Tribeca. Have a good night. Alright, so let's move on. Color is 670 again. Adding that to the back of the ear. Then let's take color. What's this? No, let's go for 680 for the lighter tones. Trying to work a bit faster. Then with 680, I'm going to put in a base layer for these lighter hairs in the fur. So this color is quite a tad too dark when you look at the reference, but that's what I want. Might be a bit too yellow though, so I'm not going to add a lot of it. Alright, those languages I cannot read. I have no idea what you guys are saying right now. Wicked, I've always thought that you were just English. Alright, I'll keep it like this, I think. Now I'm going to move on to the lighter colors, which is probably going to be this pinkish tone, because you can see a little bit of pink in that lighter fur right there. let's add in some of those hairs. What is the longest I have worked on a piece of art? Probably about 60 hours. That was a colored pencil piece, a commission that I've done of 2 dogs. It was quite a big drawing and it took me so long. So that was probably about 60 hours, 50 to 60 hours. And this is actually quick for me. Making some of those hairs overlap the blue. In your courses you can see our progress. What do you mean exactly? I'm not sure if I know what you mean. I can sit still for only about 3 hours and then I have to do something else. Yeah, me too. So I take a lot of breaks. I don't sit for 10 hours straight on a drawing. I do about 2 hours or 2.5 when I'm streaming like this, and then I'll take a break. And I always have multiple drawings to work on during the day, so I can switch between drawings as well. And that has worked really well for me. Feel like I need some other colors there in that ear. Let's go for some more gray. Not super happy with how this looks so far. So this needs to be adjusted. "12 hours in a row? Oh, I can do that. I cannot do that. What were you working on back then? Was it a challenge of some sort? Like a YouTube challenge? Alright, I am losing focus. I don't want to lose focus. Let's focus again. When I'm losing focus, I'm just putting colors everywhere without thinking about it. And I don't want that. So I need to focus again. Taking the brown now to clean up in between these lighter hairs. I also feel like there needs to be more shadow there in between the hairs. Oh, right, a commission. Well, that's smart, actually. When I work on commissions, I spread it out over like 2 weeks. Even if it's a small drawing, I just have to switch between drawings every day. Because I feel like, maybe it sounds a bit stupid, but I feel like if I finish too fast, if I finish a piece within a day, I feel like I give the customer the idea that it didn't take me any effort, so it doesn't need to cost that much, if you know what I mean. That is my my reasoning behind taking longer. Alright, there's this edge. This shadow. I'm going to put that in with brown. Oh ja, dat kan gewoon hoor, Julia. Gisteren heb ik de achtergrond helemaal gedaan. Dus die kan je altijd terugkijken. still not happy with how this looks. I might have put a little bit too much blue there. I think I'm going to add more brown on top of that. Maybe another brown. Brown that is a little more red, just to contrast that blue. Do I do Q&A? Yes, if I see any questions in the live stream, I'm definitely answering them. I want to add some yellow to the ear now, some yellow beige. To add some of the lighter hairs. Little bit of black in the center just for some extra darkness. Let's pick a yellow beige now. Going for this little one. And this is number 105. Let's see if I can add some extra detail with this. Might need some more orange. Where am I from? I am from Holland, from the Netherlands, and I think this drawing in total is going to be about, I've spent about 2 hours on it, I think now. No, 2.5 already. 3 hours. I've already spent 3 hours on this, so it will probably take me another 4. So I'd say 7 hours in total. these ear hairs are definitely darker in the reference photo. I need to darken them up. Sorry for the silence, I had to concentrate a bit. I am just not happy with this ear and it needs to be better. I don't want to work on it for too long, otherwise I'll bore you. So I'm going to do a few more details on it and then I'll move on to the next part, which is going to be the other ear. Hi Isabella. Which days do I live stream? I live stream, well, this month I'm live streaming every workday until Christmas. So Monday to Friday, and this is the last week, so I will be streaming until Friday. That will be the last one. And then I think I'll be taking a little vacation. So no YouTube uploads then for the rest of the year. But I will be continuing the live streams, I think, in the new year. And not every day, but I think twice a week. Yeah, it's definitely hard to think of things to discuss, and even more if you're working on a difficult piece. So right now I'm concentrating and thinking of things to talk about at the same time, which is very, very difficult. Tell us a little bit about your art journey. Well, I started drawing when I was 6, and I only drew cars. Then I switched to deer and bunnies. And then when I was 7, I started to draw Disney characters, only Disney characters. And then when I was a teen, I started to draw horses. Horses only. No other things, only horses. And not from reference photos either, just horses from my imagination. So they looked totally wrong, but I liked it. And then when I was about 18, I started drawing seriously because I failed at school and I was kind of depressed, so I needed something else to do, something to put my creativity. So I started drawing again after not having drawn for like a few years. So that was when I was about 18, and I started drawing from reference photos and practicing, and that went really well right away. So right away I started doing commissioned work for like 10 euros for a drawing or something like that. Even really big pieces for like 15 euros. But that is how it started to develop, basically. And then I started asking more for my drawings, and they got better quite quickly as well. Then I started my Facebook page, and then I made a website. And in 2015, I started my YouTube channel. So it all basically went very quickly. My pencils are marked pastel chalk. The name is Generals. I don't know that brand. Never heard of it. I really need to stop working on this ear now. This ear is starting to frustrate me. Usually when that happens, it's better to just move on to another area and then come back to it later. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Hi Mara. Well, I'll be streaming for another half an hour, I think, so you didn't miss it all, but you did miss the first part of the fox. Did you get good grades in school, and did you like school? I did like high school. I really enjoyed high school, and I did get good grades. So I never had any trouble in high school. But then after that, I started doing colleges, universities, and that I didn't like. Thanks, Pleuntje. Working on an arm? Oh, really? Sometimes it feels like the smaller pieces take longer because it's quite difficult to layer the colors right and to get it all really well blended. Welk niveau deed ik op de middelbare school? Ik deed VWO voor de eerste 3 jaar en in de 4e ging ik naar de HAVO, dus uiteindelijk HAVO. Did I stay in college? No, I quit. I've been out of school for 3 years now. Yeah, I had already guessed that the arm is part of a body. Alright, I have to move on because I'm now frustrating myself. I'm not getting the right colors in for this one. And if you layer too many colors, it will become really muddy. A muddy mess. And we don't want that either. Okay, a few last things. Then I will move on. It just has a lot more color on the reference. I have already added quite a lot of color. Kind of struggling right now. Some days are not my day. Today, pastels are not working for me. Alright, time to move on. Because I still have another ear to finish. Right, so first let's do the back of the head. You can see all these very bright red hairs sticking out. So for that I'm using 675. I think I'll need to sharpen it real quick. How old am I? I am 23. Although I might sound younger. A wine bottle and 2 glasses. Oh, that's really tricky, but a very good exercise. If you are drawing something at the moment, let me know what you're working on right now. And let me know what your favorite material is to work in. Can I guess how many art supplies I have? I have a lot. If I count all my individual pencils, let's say about 200 pencils in total. There are people who have a lot more. I am quite frugal. I don't like spending a lot of money, so I only have the supplies that I need. And the rest I just give away. Sometimes I get sent something by a brand. But other than that, I only buy what I need. So I'd say about 200 pencils, and then quite a big supply of pastel matte and Canson paper, what I use for my colored pencils. But actually, not that much. I don't have that many supplies. Do I have the line art available for this? No, I don't. I don't have one made yet, but I can make one. Then I'll have to figure out where to put it, how to make it downloadable for you guys. I can put it up on Patreon. First, let's have this little piece of fur done before I start on the ear. Switching between my reddish browns. My favorite artist or music. I'd say my favorite singer-songwriters are Céla Sue, who is a Belgian singer. I really like her. And I love Imogen Heap. So those two, probably my favorites. When it comes to favorite drawing artist, I would say Aaron Blaise. Yeah, doing your own line art is great practice. Nothing wrong with doing your own. Oh, Pleuntje, a panda. That's really cool. Haven't drawn a panda in a long time. I also have trouble with the lettering and the numbers rubbing off. I don't have it with the longer pencils, but as soon as they get small, they rub off. Alright, just like with the other ear, I'm going to start out with outlining the ear with dark brown. Pleuntje op meerdere sites zoals hoe heet het? Dekwast.nl. En ook gewoon in meerdere kunstwinkels kan je de pastelpotloden gewoon per stuk kopen. Dus je zou ook bijvoorbeeld een witte en een zwarte alleen kunnen kopen. Ze zijn ongeveer 1,50 per stuk ongeveer, zoiets. En alleen met een zwart en wit kun je ook al hele leuke dingen maken of grijs. Thank you, Shikat. Shikat. Oh, I hope I'll say that right. I'm glad you think it's looking awesome, because I'm not sure yet. I think this will be one of those pieces which comes together at the very end. My favorite color. My favorite color is ultramarine blue. Let's fill in the inside of the ear again, but I'm not going to add as much blue as I did on the other one because it's a little too much blue. De site die ik zei was www.dekwast.nl. Okay, so I think I'll be streaming for another 10 minutes. 10 minutes and then I'll wrap it up. Then I'll be doing my daily yoga practice. I try to do yoga every day because after sitting the whole day, and actually I'm sitting a bit crooked. Talking has become really hard as well. My back is starting to ache, and doing a bit of yoga really helps. Adding a bit of brown to the gray. Yoga portraits. Oh, is that why you literally drawing someone in a yoga pose? I'm really a beginner with yoga. I'm super stiff. I'm like the stiffest person ever. Especially now I do so much sitting all day. But I just do some beginner yoga practices, and even that already really helps with the back aches. Are the polychromos the same as pastel? No, these pastel pencils are chalk based, so they don't have, or they have very little binder in them, which means they are very smudgeable. You can layer them, you can put light on top of dark like that. Polychromos are colored pencils, and the polychromos is the name of the pencils. They are by Faber-Castell. These are colored pencils and they are oil based, which means that oil is the binder, which means you can't smudge them, and they just work very differently. Starting to get problems talking. Which means that it is late and I should call it a day. Yeah, actually I also have a standing desk, but I don't use it as a standing desk. I always have it low. Not sure why. But I prefer sitting, and I have a good chair and I have a good desk, so if I sit the right way, I don't have any back aches. But when I do these live streams, I'm slightly crooked because my microphone is here on the left of my table, and then the paper's right there, so I have to kind of move around, and my spine is in a weird shape right now. So during the live streams I get quite a backache. Right now I have one as well. So I need to find a solution for that. I need to find a way to place my microphone somewhere else or somewhere closer to my actual drawing, because this is not really a good way for me to sit for 2 hours. Concentrate on the breath. I'm trying to. breathing has been quite a problem for me. So usually my breath goes too high in my chest. That's something I really had to work on when I still did clarinet practice every day. So that was a really big problem for me when I was playing the clarinet, but because especially when you're playing such an instrument, your breath has to be very strong and very low, and my breath was in my chest all the time. And right now it still is, but I'm trying to work on it. Good night, Tammy. Welk merk gebruik ik? Dit zijn Stabilo Carbotello pastelpotloden. Op het papier pastelmat. Yeah, I need to find a way to replace my microphone easily, because I need my microphone in multiple places in my studio during the day usually. So maybe I should get like a separate stand for it that you can bend to like fit above my desk, so I don't have to be in weird positions to actually be hearable. Hearable, is that a word? I don't think so. Bedankt voor het kijken, Esther. En dankjewel. Alright, I'm going to try that. I'm now going to sit upright, just above my drawing as usual. Then let me know if you can still hear me. Alright, so I'm now sitting away from my microphone and I'm not talking louder than I was. So let me know if you can still hear me alright. Yes, can you hear me just the same as you did earlier? Yeah, it's probably a little bit quieter. But I always get criticized because of my quiet voice and because I'm not loud enough. So now I always try to be really close to the mic so everyone can hear me. But if you can hear me alright this way, then I'll just sit this way. Audible, that's the word, audible. Yes, I find yoga very useful for gaining my balance back and for getting the stretch in my body. I tend to have a very bad posture when I'm sitting at my desk, so the yoga really helps to fix that. This feels so much better on my back already. Just sitting upright. I like beginner's sun salutation. What is that? I've never heard of that. I just found the channel, what is it? Yoga with Adrienne or something like that. A girl named Adrienne who does yoga videos that I even can follow, and I'm super stiff. So I find Adrienne a very good one. Oh, I will look that up. The sun salutation. Alright, I think I'm going to wrap it up now. I've done quite a lot, not as much as I wanted to. But I think this drawing is going to take a little longer than I expected. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, otherwise I will get frustrated, and then I'll make mistakes more easily. Probably do some work on the ear behind the scenes. And I'm not sure if I will continue this drawing tomorrow or if I will do something else. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see in the streams. If there's anything in specific you want me to do or to talk about, let me know. Shall I continue the fox tomorrow or not? How do I keep the motivation to keep drawing? Well, this is my job. So I have to keep drawing if I want to make a living, and that pushes me extra to continue. So that is what gives me the motivation, and I just love it. I love drawing, and I don't think I will ever get bored of it. Alright, so if most of you want to see me continue this tomorrow, then I will. That's no problem. Alright, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. It was quite a long stream again. And then I will continue this drawing tomorrow. Also, you can always let me know subjects to talk about in the comments, so then I don't have to think of anything during the stream. Alright, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye guys!